Hello. What's up? Well, it looks like we should have a good one for you tonight with Miami. Everybody's favorite team to hate. I did talk to Slim Shady Canes this afternoon, and hopefully he's able to come on and share his opinion with us about his Miami Hurricanes and the upcoming season for them. And also Boston College. Who has an interesting schedule. Boston College does. It's not going to be I don't think it's going to be a great season for the Eagles. I don't know. Maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe we'll be surprised in Bill O'Brien's second year. But I don't know, man. They play a pretty tough non-con schedule. Well, if you count Notre Dame as non-con, I know it goes down in the books as an ACC game, but whatever. Anyway, they played Notre Dame and I think Michigan State out of conference, and then they play some of the better teams in the ACC on their conference schedule. So could be a rough year for the Eagles. We've also, for the first time in our record prediction videos that we've been doing the past few weeks, I think Boston College might be the first team that we've covered or going to cover that hasn't named a solidified starting quarterback. Now, I think we know who it's going to be, but they haven't announced it yet. A lot of the other teams have already pretty much announced who their solidified Week 1 starter is, but Boston College hasn't. And they've got a transfer that came from Alabama, who is, I guess, a redshirt freshman. And then the guy that took over for Castanelos last year after Castanelos quit on the team. Y'all remember when Castanelos quit on the team with like 4 games left? Yeah. Well, this guy, Grayson James, came in and played okay. I mean, he didn't light the world on fire or anything, but, you know. But he played okay. I'm ready to start the show in here in just a minute. I'm just waiting on my co-host to get here. This is my fault. Obviously, normally the ACC show is on Tuesdays at 7 p.m., but I was not at home or able to be home last night at 7 p.m. So I had to push it ahead a day or behind, whichever way that works. Behind a day to today. So I hope that wasn't too inconvenient for my boy Sea-Dog there. Miami 11-1. We'll see what I have them at. We're going to go through the schedule game by game and make our picks. I doubt I'll have them at 11-1, but I don't know. I haven't gone through and picked the games yet. I do that live on the air so you guys can see my original reaction to what I think it's going to be. But I think even Slim Shady said he had him at 10-2, and he's a Miami fan, so he doesn't even have them winning 11 games. What's up, Noah? I've been amazing and fantastic. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I haven't done a whole lot of live shows on this channel in the past few months. I've had something that I had to deal with, but we're getting up on the season. We get back to my normal schedule. We've been doing the ACC show for the past 3 weeks, I think. And with the exception of 1 or 2 weeks before the kickoff of the season, we'll be doing them every week. And of course, during the season, we'll be doing them every week too. So I'm looking forward to kicking off the pigskin. No pun intended. What's up, Sea-Dog?
Hey, sorry.
Why do you sound like that?
Go on.
I don't know. You sound like you're in a cave or something. Does that sound that way to y'all too?
Sorry, hang on.
Yeah, you sound far away.
All right. Yeah.
Is it because you are far away? Oh.
I have my headphones on. I'm sorry. I'm finishing cooking up myself dinner.
Oh, and so your headphones make it sound that way?
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Noah says it sounds like you're talking through a fast food drive-through speaker. That's exactly what it sounded like. I would like a number one, a large fry, and a chocolate milkshake. Thank you.
Nice. Awesome.
All right, so as I let you know yesterday, we're going to be previewing Miami and Boston College. I'm hoping that Slim will come on. He said he would. He told me earlier that he should be able to come on. So we can get his thoughts on it. He did tell me just a little bit of a preview here. He did tell me that he had Miami going 10-2 in the regular season. So
sounds about right.
I think that's probably pretty close to accurate. We're going to go through the schedule here, but I've seen a lot of stuff on the Twitter machine from Miami fans. Now look, there's a lot of Miami people on the internet, and a lot of them on this channel and everything, and a lot on YouTube in general. Not all of them, but a lot of them are pretty delusional on an annual basis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I saw one on there yesterday that said that he went through their schedule, and his prediction after looking at their schedule is 12-0. And I'm like, look, dude, like, you wouldn't bet a single dollar on that.
Right.
First of all, you'd be stupid to bet a single dollar on that, because the chances that anybody goes 12-0 is, that's low average. It's a low odds.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they do dodge Georgia Tech, so that's one like guaranteed loss that they're not going to have to face. So
they don't play Clemson in the regular season. They don't play Georgia Tech. We'll look at the schedule here in a minute, but just let's just do a quick recap of last year. So last year, Miami had one of the best, if not the best, definitely one of the best quarterbacks in the entire country, Cam Ward. And Cam Ward had an amazing year. He was a Heisman finalist, the whole deal. Miami won 10 games in the regular season. For Slim, when was how many 10-win seasons has there been in recent years, like within the last 10 years at Miami? Two? I can barely hear Slim now. Is it?
I think it's 2.
Yeah. I think Slim's. I don't know if Slim has a headset on or what. I think he's gonna. He's trying to get his things situated right now. So, but yeah. So, I think he said 2. I could barely hear him, but I think he said 2, and I think that's about right. So, by Miami standards, that's obviously a great year. Now, if you're a Miami fan, you want to build on the 10-win season and not regress like most teams do that hardly have 10-win seasons. But one of the biggest some of the biggest news of the offseason in all of college football was the transfer of Carson Beck from Georgia down to Miami to become the heir apparent to Cam Ward. Carson Beck had a lot of criticism last year, and if you look at his numbers, they're not terrible. Now, they're not great. He had a problem turning the ball over. That's for sure. I think he went what was it, 6 games in a row with one or more turnovers in each game. So that's not great. He had 3,400 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. So I would call that above average, but not much. So he transfers down to Miami, which I was kind of surprised about. It made sense at the time because he was dating one of those Cavender twins, and she goes to Miami. So it seemed like he was moving down there to be with his girlfriend, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it was a football decision and not a personal decision. I think that Carson Beck is probably a better style quarterback for what they're going to be doing in Miami than what they try to do at Georgia. So I get the criticism, and it's fun to point and laugh at a Georgia quarterback when he has mediocre numbers. But let's face it, they don't have one of the top wide receiver corps in the country. I don't know. I just feel like I feel like Carson will be a better fit with the Hurricanes than he was with Georgia.
Georgia ruins quarterbacks.
I mean, he had a pretty good career. Better? He had a good career at Georgia. If you look at his lifetime numbers there, they're pretty good.
Can you hear me better now, Pete?
Yeah, you sound 100% better.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what was the problem.
I don't know. I just switched earbuds.
Hey, will you switch me out?
Switch you out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
I didn't know what you were talking about. All right. So now we should all be good. Even Sea Dog sounds better now.
Can you hear me?
Oh, man. Thank you.
What?
You don't sound like you're underwater, like Jacques Cousteau anymore.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was just on my phone, so.
I mean, I'm going to push back a little bit on what you said about Carson Beck having mediocre numbers. I mean, can you name 5 better quarterbacks in the conference last year?
He just said that Carson Beck had good numbers.
Yeah, I said they were above average.
Yeah, I mean, I think all things considered, with the problems he was having with his wide receiver core, it was a minor miracle that he threw for 3,500 yards.
It wasn't even really. 3,400 yards is definitely above average, right? I would think it is nationally.
Yeah, sure.
Certainly in the Power Four.
We usually consider 4,000 yards a good season.
The biggest criticism was he was a turnover machine. But
and Lou pointed out that, and I didn't know this because I never broke it down game by game. It was really only a 3-game stretch where he really had a problem.
It was more than that. It was like 5 or 6 games. But
like 9 of his interceptions came in 3 or 4 games.
Yeah. He threw
I mean, outside of that, he had 3 more for the rest of the season. So,
look, I'm not shitting on the guy. I'm saying I think he was above average. I think he had a pretty good career overall at Georgia. Last year was maybe a little bit of an outlier, and I think that he's going to be probably even better in the Miami system. So I don't really know what else I can say about him. That's nice. If you want me to say something mean, he's ugly as fuck.
Yeah.
He is. That is a goofy-looking bastard. I'll give him that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Argument there. Yeah.
At the very least, with Shannon Dawson there, especially if Carson puts up good numbers, I think it's going to be. I mean, it would appear to be a destination spot for any good quarterback looking to transfer and up his numbers.
He went there for his girlfriend, and now they've broke up. So.
I think Pete's right. I think that was part of it, but also, like I said, he saw what Cam Ward was able to come in and do numbers-wise.
I think that has a lot to do with it, too. I think he was I think a lot of these quarterbacks, there's probably very few that aren't looking to lead or at least putting feelers out there about if I transfer. Because he's only got one more year of eligibility left, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, he was at Georgia for 5 years.
Yeah, so, maybe he felt like my work here is done. I'm not, I've accomplished everything at Georgia I want to do. I mean, let's see what I can get somewhere else. And if I can get some money and also move down and be with my girlfriend, I mean, that's a double win.
Right. Well,
yeah.
He was originally planning to go to the draft, and then took his name out of the draft and went to Miami.
He got his grade back on where he was going to go and thought he could do better.
I think he made the right decision by not going in the draft.
Yeah.
Now, we'll never know because you can't prove a negative. We don't know where he would have went in this draft because he didn't go in it. But I still think he made the right decision.
I think he would have been drafted ahead of Shador Sanders.
Yeah.
That's a low bar.
The only reason it would be a bad decision for him to stay another year in college is if, for some reason, he had some sort of, career-ending injury, which would be terrible. But other than that, I think another year of experience, another year of a possible playoff run with Miami's roster in the ACC, I think it'd be good for him in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, in Lou's video about it, he really made the same argument I did. It's not even necessarily going to rest on the offense. I do think the offense will take a step back because it's not going to be the same without a guy like Restrepo there. It's not, and Carson Beck is not Cam Ward. Now, two things can be true at once. Carson Beck is not Cam Ward, but does that mean that he won't throw for 4,000 yards like Cam Ward? No, it doesn't mean that he won't. I think he probably will.
He'll have better receivers.
Yeah, better receivers. Also,
offensive line than what he had to work with in Georgia.
Well, I don't know about comparing it to last year's Georgia team, but I think Miami has one of the better offensive lines in the ACC anyway, at least.
I don't think this is going out on a limb to say they're probably going to have a top 5 offensive line in the country.
Okay. Well, you know better than I do about the roster.
Basically, the entire line is back.
Okay.
Offensive line is really hard to do research on, as they don't have any stats. So.
Well, they do as far as, how many times, somebody's got a sack against that left tackle or whatever, but...
I mean, Francis Malagoa is going to be a first-round pick. The center who didn't give up a sack last year and was a transfer is back again this year. I mean, like I said, basically everybody on the offensive line is back on a line that really, I think, gave up 12 sacks last year, something like that, and produced about 2,000 yards rushing between 3 backs.
Well, let's just go ahead and jump in the schedule here. So Miami starts out with one of the more anticipated games of the season, certainly for week 1. Sunday, August the 31st, against Notre Dame. Is this the game, Slim, that you were telling me is a neutral site, but it's still in Miami?
Yeah, I think it's technically listed as a neutral site game, but it's in Hard Rock.
So it doesn't account as one of Miami's home games on their schedule, right?
How does that make any sense?
Well, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
It's just like whenever LSU plays a neutral site game in New Orleans instead of Baton Rouge. It's still there, it's still home field advantage them.
Yeah, I know, but it's still their field, though.
I know.
New Orleans is not LSU's field.
Right, I get it. Well, it's not technically Miami's field either. It's the Dolphins, but I mean, so yeah.
I mean, Dolphins played on our field for 20 years, so hey, they owe us.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm going to end up having a conversation with Lou about this. I realize it, and I get it. There's a lot of games, there's just nobody's going to go watch Miami beat up on, fucking Wake Forest. But to say that there's no home field advantage in Miami is just false. I mean, if you look at their entire time since they've been in Hard Rock, a top 15 Nebraska came down there and lost. A top 10 Oklahoma came there and lost. A top 5 Ohio State came there and lost. A top 3 Notre Dame came there and lost.
Yeah.
So I will disagree saying there's no home field advantage. Like, people show up for the big games. That place will be packed out.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that especially the opening game Sunday, August 31st against Notre Dame, that place will be sold out. Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt about that. Also, it's going to probably this is rough on Notre Dame. The end of August in Miami. I don't care if it's at night or not. It's going to be 110 degrees at night. I mean, and if they're not conditioned well and they're not used to that heat, that's worse than the cold to me. You get if you're not conditioned to be in the heat, you can run out of gas real quick.
Yeah, and I think that probably plays a factor in the fact that Notre Dame has not won a game in the city of Miami since like 89 or 90.
Wow. But these are, I don't know what, the AP rankings haven't come out yet, but some of the preliminaries, like projections of rankings, this is going to be probably at the very least a top 15 matchup, maybe a top 10. I don't know where Miami's going to be ranked in the preseason
I would agree with that.
poll,
at least top 15, yeah.
And Notre Dame is poised to have a good season too, so this should be a really good game to start out the season. So this is a tough one to pick. Man, I'm not going to go first on this one. Vic's here, so I'm going to let Vic go first as the resident SEC person on the panel.
Right. Yeah. So, of course, I already did the Miami preview with Slim, and I did pick Notre Dame. So.
All right. Any particular reason? You just think they're better?
Yeah, well, I think the first week they will be better because it would have been much better if Miami could have started out with a warm up game. So I just feel like they're like maybe the offense won't quite be ready or won't quite be rolling at this point. So
gotcha. That makes sense. Actually, it makes so much sense that I'm going to agree with you. I hate to do it. I'm picking. No, I mean, I don't really care who wins, but I'm picking the Fighting Irish to win this. I do think it'll be close though, but I think that. Well, I don't know why I'm picking them. To be honest with you, but if I picked Miami, I wouldn't know why I'm picking them either. The only reason I would be picking Miami is because they, like what Slim just said, with they haven't won a game there since 1990 something.
And the humidity.
And the humidity. You know what? Fuck it, I'm picking Miami. I switched my pick.
Listen, I appreciate it. I do. But I've got Miami losing this game.
You do?
As much as it pains. I don't like it. I really don't. For a lot of the same reasons as Vic. I don't think that necessarily that the offense will be firing on all cylinders game one, especially with Carson not participating in the spring. And then the back end of that defense is just such an unknown. And I mean, it was horrendous last year. Now, that being said, I still think this is a very winnable game because isn't Notre Dame starting a true freshman at quarterback?
Is he a true freshman or a redshirt? Where's my Notre Dame people at? Is he a true?
He might be a red shirt. Either way, they're coming in there with a completely inexperienced quarterback, and if their offense is similar to what it was last year, that does play into the strength of Miami's defense. At least what it was this past season. Their rush defense was top 20 in the country.
Gotcha.
And really, it was top 15 in the country until the Georgia Tech game. That was the only game where they gave up over 110 yards rushing.
All right, so we got Vic Tube and Slim Shady both picking Notre Dame. Pigskin Pete's the only one that's flipped. I'm a flip-flopper. I flipped to Miami on this. So what do you say, C-Dog?
I think Notre Dame wins. Just I think it could be close, but I think Notre Dame's just in a little bit of a higher league than Miami is right now.
All right, I'll remember this. I'm the only one that picked Miami, so when Miami wins,
I will be glad to be wrong.
I get to shame all of you.
You do. I said, I'll be glad to be wrong.
I'm very unconfident about my pick, but yeah. So all right, so we got Notre Dame winning week 1 on the road at Miami. Week 2, September the 6th, Saturday. Bethune-Cookman. This is, come on.
Miami by however many they choose to win by.
Yeah. Is anybody picking Bethune-Cookman to upset Miami?
No.
Okay. Boy, how many teams in the state of Florida do you play this year? Half of your schedule's in the state of Florida.
We don't leave the state of Florida until November.
Well, no. Oh, that's true. You're right. Holy hell. Yeah, because your only away games, well, you got the neutral site game, which is in Miami, in Florida. Your only away game is at Florida State, and that's on October 4th. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
Damn, y'all don't even need a plane over there.
No.
So anyway, week 3, September the 13th, at South Florida. So this is 3 straight games in Hard Rock. Well, there was going to be 4 after this one. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know shit about South Florida, but I do know that they're probably not as good as Miami. So,
we beat them worse than Alabama did.
Yeah. Give me the Canes on that one.
Yeah.
Is anybody picking against the Canes on that one?
No.
All right, we're at 2-1 now. Now it gets interesting. Another home game, although a short drive, relatively, for the opponent, Florida Gators. Now, last year they played at Florida, right, Slim?
Yeah, that was in the swamp.
And that was early. It was like week 2 or 3, I remember.
No, that was week 1. That was the first game of the year.
Okay. And Miami went up there and just bent them over their knee and spanked them. I don't remember what the score was, but I remember watching it, and it was a spanking. I think
back.
And I think Florida's going to be better this year than they were last year. But unfortunately for Florida, I still think Miami's going to be better. Give me the Canes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the blowout that it was. I don't see 41-17. I could see 35-21, 35-24. So I think Miami still wins it, but it's not the blowout that it was last year.
I think the score is even closer than that.
And you may be right.
Like a last minute type, like a 3 or 6 point, 7 point game, something like that.
Well, and venturing even into the a little more bizarre, I do not believe that Carson Beck is going to lose his undefeated streak to the Gators.
No?
He just knows how to beat them.
That's a good point I didn't even think of. Yeah, Carson Beck is undefeated against Florida. It doesn't matter what jersey he's wearing.
That is correct.
Yeah. He just knows how to beat Florida. And he's from Jacksonville, isn't he? Yeah.
I do not know.
Yeah, Carson Beck, he played high school ball in Jacksonville.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. All right, so me and Slim both have Miami. What say you, Vic Tube?
Nah, Vic Tube dropped, but I think he's back.
Yeah, I accidentally kicked myself out. Yeah, I do have Miami winning because Carson Beck undefeated against Florida. So.
All right.
As for me, I do agree that I think it'll be a very close game, but I will go with Miami here.
I'm surprised to hear you say that.
Well, I'm not, just because I hate him doesn't mean I'm going to be,
Yeah.
He's trying to be unbiased.
I'm going to be unbiased.
Yeah, you can hear every time he picks Miami to win a game, you can hear the disappointment in his voice.
I think Florida's sneaky good. They can easily win.
You sound like my wife when she talks about me. You can just hear the disappointment.
See, I don't. I think Florida's being really overhyped. I think DJ Lagway has the potential. But unfortunately, because Billy will not let go of the offense, it's just going to hold Florida back, and DJ Lagway too.
Tyrone Hall in the chat says Miami start the season off undefeated and will end the season undefeated. Well, if you think they're going to go 12-0, my Cash App is $PigskinPeete. I'll be willing to bet you any amount of money that you're willing to bet me that they won't go 12-0.
Hey, I won't be mad if it happens, but I'm not. Listen, I also famously, I don't ever pick anybody to go undefeated.
Right.
It's hard to do.
Me either. It's just, it's a bad bet to bet that because the odds are against you.
It's a bad
bet. However, I do have them at 3-1. Actually, I haven't picked them to lose a game yet. I'm the only one that has them 4-0 right now.
You got them at 4-0.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they'll lose one of the Florida or Notre Dame games.
Yeah, I think so too. So I think we're pretty accurate right here. We got them at 3-1 heading into 3 games. Bye week. South Florida, bye week. Then their first road game of the year, technically, at Florida State. A Florida State team that's coming off a 2-win season last year. Who has the transfer Castellanos from Boston College, who's out there just acting crazy on the internet, talking shit about Alabama, like making all kinds of guarantees. If you go back and look at Castellanos, and we're doing BC tonight too, we'll talk about him in a minute, but he wasn't really that great at Boston College. I mean...
No, he got all of his hype really playing against Florida State the year they had Jordan Travis, and he just ran amok on that defense.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I think that the Florida State season was an outlying season last year with 2 wins. I do think they're going to get better. I mean, hell, we already did a preview for Florida State this year, and as a panel, we came up with 5-7, which is not good. But it's
better than 2 and 10.
It's 3 more wins than they had last year, and I just don't think that this is going to be one of them for the Seminoles. So I'm taking Miami in this one as well.
Yeah, so am I. And listen, I love to shit on Florida State as much as the next Miami fan, but no, I don't think they're going to go 2-10 again this year. I would probably actually pick them to make a bowl game if I'm just being honest. But no, I don't think they're going to beat Miami, even though it's in Doak Campbell Trailer Park.
All right, what about you, Vic?
I think that Florida State won't be quite as bad as they were last year, but they're still not beating Miami.
Exactly what I said. Great minds think alike.
Yeah,
I do.
I agree. I don't think they got a long way to go before they're going to be able to compete in games like that. Miami's just said the same thing I said about Notre Dame, kind of. Miami's just a higher
tier.
Yeah.
Plus, I think Florida State has a pretty good chance of losing a couple games early in the season, so they might. By this time in the year, this might be a must-win game for them, or or who knows? They may be beat down mentally already. I don't know. So anyway,
give up mode.
Yeah, give up mode. Not as bad as last year. Last year, at least they fought for 5 games. Then they gave up for the last 7. All right, so we got 4-1 Miami starting out the first 5 games of the season. Then they go back home for 2 more straight home games. Boy, this is almost unfair, the amount of home games Miami has this year. Now, albeit against one of the better teams, at least on paper and predicted in the ACC, Louisville. This is a night game on Friday.
Yeah, number one, just as a betting rule, give me the home team.
Yeah, you always want to bet the home team on a Friday night game. Yeah.
Here's my thing, though. Louisville's another team that I think is getting overhyped. Like, you don't just replace that quarterback and those wide receivers easily.
I'm not really a believer in Louisville this year either. I did a video on them, and I had them going 7-5.
Damn,
a brutal schedule.
Damn,
too.
They do have a brutal schedule. 7-5 is harsh, though.
We predicted them, didn't we? We predicted them to go like 5-7.
Yeah, we did. We were totally wrong.
No, I'm talking about this year, right?
We didn't do Louisville yet.
We haven't? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we've done SMU, Florida State, Syracuse, UNC, and then tonight we're doing Boston College and Miami.
Maybe it was Syracuse that we thought was going to have go 5-7. Which one did we go 5-7?
Yeah, I think a lot of us predicted that Syracuse was not going to be very good. First year head coach last year.
Well, let's start with Sea-Dog. What do you think?
What?
Who are you picking? Louisville, Miami.
Oh, Miami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to Slim.
Yeah, I've got Miami winning this game, too.
Vic?
Yeah, take the home team on a Friday night. I got Miami.
That's going to make 4 of us. It's unanimous. Another win for Miami. 5-1. Starting out the season. Great. Most teams would love to be 5-1 after 6 games. All right, moving on. Again, another home game. I don't know if they only play 12 games, but they get 13 home games. October the 25th against the Tree. The Tree has to travel. I don't know if there's I guess if Oregon came to Miami, that may be the furthest. But other than that, Stanford, Cal, anything from California, that's a 2,800-mile trip. So, and also Stanford's a trash can, a disaster.
Yep.
I mean,
didn't they fire their coach in the spring?
They did. Well, Andrew Luck did.
Well, yeah, Andrew Luck did.
Yeah.
Fucking it's Stanford's a disaster. Fucking Jim Harbaugh's not there. Andrew Luck is, but Richard Sherman isn't either.
I think this is the first time in the history of like scandals because they fired that coach with cause because of I forget what was the accusations that was against him.
I don't remember.
There was some sort of accusations against him that were, maybe even had some legal ramifications. But I'm thinking that and then they hire Andrew Luck to come in there and run the football program. And I think Andrew Luck's like, you know what? Thank God this guy had this problem because I was going to fire his ass anyway. It just gives me a reason to. We don't have to pay him.
Yeah, he was terrible anyway.
Yeah, it was terrible anyway.
Yeah. So they're not going to be any better in August.
And it was right after spring practice when he fired him, too. So it's like, Andrew Luck probably showed up to spring practice and was like, oh, my God, this team's a mess. We got to get rid of this guy. Anyway, look, they're just not any good. So give me Miami big.
Yeah.
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
All right, that's 6-1.
Yeah, we had them at like, 3 wins or something?
Who, Stanford?
Yeah.
We haven't previewed Stanford yet.
Maybe it was Cal. What's the difference?
You literally went through the list not 2 minutes ago of all the teams you previewed.
Yeah.
I still can't remember.
Well, the thing is, when predicting teams, we're also basically predicting the other.
Yeah, we're talking about the other teams each week. Yeah.
Part as well.
Yeah.
We had Stanford losing like every single game that we.
Yeah, poor Stanford. By the time we get done doing this, if you go back and watch every video, we might have them at 0-12.
Right.
Yeah, and nobody will ever accuse Pete of being an environmentalist because he has no love for the trees.
Right. Maybe they can beat Hawaii, but
Yeah, they probably could. I don't know. Maybe not. That's a road game. They got to go to Hawaii for that. Anyway, so all right. So what we got? Is that 6-1? I said.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Now here we go. Now this outside of the Notre Dame and possibly the Florida or Louisville or Florida game. This is a tough one here. You got to travel to Dallas. So finally a road game. Get out of the comfort of your own city there.
Yeah.
Finally.
They finally leave Florida.
Finally leave Florida. Like Slim said, the first time they leave Florida is in November. That's insane.
November the 1st.
Yeah. And I look, we're pretty good at predicting teams' records on the ACC show every year, or, within a game or two. We were totally off on SMU last year. Like it might have been our worst prediction of the year last year. I don't even know if we had them making a bowl game and they went to the playoffs. So
I had them a little better than y'all because I said they had a bunch of talent that had transferred from Miami that played under Rhett Lashley.
yeah, and they got a lot coming back, including their quarterback Jennings, who's very good.
Yeah, but a lot of that Miami talent is gone.
You know what? I'm taking the Mustangs here. I think that the Miami's due for a loss here. It's the first, like you said, the first time out of the state of Florida all year. I think SMU catches them slipping and wins this game.
I think because a lot of that transfer talent they had is gone, and the way, especially the quarterback, ended the season, I've got no faith in him. And from the sounds of it, Rhett Lashley doesn't have any faith in him because he brought in Tyler Van Dyke as a quarterback.
Well, as a backup.
Yeah, but
Nobody's bringing in
that?
Tyler Van Dyke to start ahead of Jennings, dude. Stop.
How do you know that?
Because
He
I mean
had
that's
his
just
best season under Rhett Lashley at Miami.
I don't care. He's not stupid.
Yeah, yes.
Well,
He, Dyke's grandson.
Do what now?
I'm asking if he's Dick Van Dyke's grandson.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Are you being serious, or is that supposed to be some kind of joke? Because I have, I guess there's not. Van Dyke isn't a very popular last name, so it's at least worth questioning, I guess. But
I mean, I think this will be a close game, but I do think Miami gets them. I could see Miami winning it by 7-10.
all right, what do you think, Sea-Dog?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that pick. I think Miami probably wins against SMU. Maybe I'm biased because I don't want to. Even Miami, I still don't want them to freaking lose to the new team in the ACC. But
So you're still
That's part of it that I don't think we took into our factor in SMU coming in as well. They didn't play Miami or Clemson last
no.
year.
They had maybe the easiest ACC schedule. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't this year. They have them both.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. But, being the fact that Clemson did play them twice last year in the postseason, once last year in the postseason in the ACC championship game, I still think they're a decent team with what they got coming back.
I don't think they were terrible, but like I said, I think a lot of that talent that made them as good as they were is gone.
I don't think they'll make the playoffs this year, though, like they did last year.
Well, I think that's got us split because you and Vic have Miami losing, and me and Sea-Dog have Miami winning.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So we got ourselves a good old.
All right, so we have a tie.
Standoff, boys and girls.
This is a great chance to let the chat vote
Oh yeah.
on a tiebreaker.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
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 If I could figure out how to make a poll, that'd be amazing.
That would be amazing.
You have to hit the plus on the chat panel. Yeah.
Do what? What'd you say?
You have to hit the plus in the chat window.
What?
Yeah, right.
you go to the chat, where the chat is on YouTube,
Yeah.
and there's like a little button you press. It looks like a plus sign.
right next to the part where you.
See that?
This is a professional production, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course it is. All right, I found it. What the fuck?
Or you could have just asked the chat and tallied up how many people typed SMU.
Yeah, I don't feel like counting. Here we go. Here's the poll.
Or I could switch.
No.
What the hell?
No. We're gonna let the chat decide.
No, I was saying let the chat decide, but I think it would just be, at this point, be faster and easier for them to type SMU or Miami.
Well, Pete already made the poll.
Yeah, I already put the poll in there. I don't see it though.
Should we vote in it or no? Let's not.
No, don't vote in it. Do you see
I
it?
can't vote in it.
I don't see the poll in the chat. Do you?
Yeah.
I'm on.
It's definitely going on because people are voting, but I don't see it in my chat on my phone.
Let's see. I won't let me freaking know the results of it unless I vote.
Yeah, you won't know the results.
Yeah, I don't even see the poll though. I can see it on my YouTube studio. People are voting. I just don't see it on my. I have a YouTube pull up on my phone. I don't see it on my phone in the chat. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay, I believe you.
It's there, but I'm not. But I'm not gonna vote.
I'm gonna give it about 60 more seconds here.
Yeah, they got 8 people have voted.
Yeah, there's 26 people in here. Can we get 18 more votes?
That'd be swell.
It would be.
Amazing and fantastic, even.
Well, right now it's a runaway. Oh, hold on. Tides are starting to turn here.
Uh-oh.
Well,
The worm has turned.
Somebody busts out the troll accounts.
Probably.
All right, 15 more seconds. This is very important business. You guys have no idea how important
It's
this is.
scientific, even.
Yeah, very scientific. All right. There it is. Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So that's going to push them to 7-1, according to the ACC panel and the ACC show commenters. All right, so moving on, a big win for Miami on the road. Then they go back home again for another 2 games at home. Holy hell. This time hosting Syracuse. Let's start with Sea-Dog this time.
Ooh, well, I think we already picked this one, right? So,
Yeah.
I think I'll roll with my same pick from last time, Miami. But I probably will have to pick them to lose one of these last couple games here. Syracuse might be it. It is at home.
Oh, I've got another loss coming, but it's not Syracuse.
Yep, I know what it is.
Looking at probably NC State or Virginia Tech for.
What?
Yeah,
So, but
yeah, I know what it is.
but I'll go with Miami on this one.
All right, so I'm a little disappointed. The first time I picked against Miami, I lost. Miami won in the poll. So I'm trying to find 2 losses. So I had Miami winning against Notre Dame, which was the unpopular pick. So now I'm looking at the schedule: Syracuse, NC State, Virginia Tech, and Pittsburgh. Which one of those 4 teams do I think Miami could possibly lose to? I guess it's got to be Syracuse out of that bunch. So give me the orange. I don't know what else to say. I mean, just from a numbers standpoint, do I think Miami's better than Syracuse? Yeah. But I'm trying to find 2 losses here because that's what I think their record's going to be, 10-2. So give me Syracuse.
Well, I've got us beating Syracuse. I think a lot of the players that played last year have got this game circled, and I think if they can put 100 on Syracuse, they will.
Yeah,
I think they're just going to absolutely kick Syracuse's dick in the dirt if they can.
Yeah,
and probably will.
I also don't like to factor this in. If this game were in Syracuse, I might be more confident about that upset, but. Anyway, I'm still sticking with my Syracuse pick. But you got Miami, I've got Syracuse. What you got, Vic?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Syracuse. You do think that they just lost too much off of last year's team, and it's at home for Miami. Miami's got the revenge factor, so I got Miami.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Who's left?
That's it. Sea-Dog picked Miami. Vic picked Miami. I picked Miami.
8-1.
Uh-oh.
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 I'll start out this next one. Another home game against my favorite team, the Fighting Dave Dorns.
Yeah.
I think that Dave Dorn won't even make it to the game, probably. He'll probably go down to the nightclubs and down in there, Miami, get drunk, pass out, wake up late, because
Will he punch a kid with Down syndrome?
He'll probably punch a kid with Down syndrome. This will be a 12 o'clock game because NC State will be 0-9 or whatever when they come into this game. So it'll be a noon game, and then he'll miss the game, and it'll just be a total disaster, and they'll lose by 50. So give me Miami on this one.
Well, I'll stay away from the Dave Dorn hate, even though I think a lot of it is deserved. But really, since coming into the conference, Miami's just had NC State's number. I'm not certain that Dave Dorn has ever beaten Miami.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I would be surprised if he has.
And I don't think that trend is fixing to go anywhere this year.
Right.
Okay, that's 2 for Miami. Vic.
Yeah, I'm going with Miami.
Damn.
Well,
9-1, baby.
Cito.
I guess mine doesn't matter then, huh?
No, but just tell us how you really feel.
I don't know. If I had to guess, Miami, but they're going to have to lose one of these games.
That was my point, but that's why I picked Syracuse a minute ago, but I lost that vote.
Okay, look, if we're being honest, they could lose any of SMU, Syracuse, NC State, Virginia Tech, Pittsburgh, any 1 or 2 of them. I could totally see.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right.
So I'll be picking against them here on out, just to balance the odds.
Tyrone Hall, who I believe is a Miami fan, says if Miami does lose, it's going to be to Virginia Tech. That's an interesting take there. Now here, it is at Virginia Tech.
Is that the next game?
Yeah, after NC State it is, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a buyer. Like last year, everybody was all in on Virginia Tech last year because they won like the last 2 games of the year before. So that meant they were going to go 10-2 last year. So I don't know. And then what was Virginia Tech's record last year? It was, what was it, 7-win team? 6?
7-8.
I think they were like, I think they went 6-6 in the regular season, and they might have won their bowl game. I don't know. Anyway, my point is, I don't know. Like I don't know why every year it's like everybody's like, oh, Virginia Tech's come back up. Well, it's been 20 fucking years, man. And this is like a Tennessee situation in the ACC. No, I'm not picking Virginia Tech. Why would I?
Well, I am.
What?
I'm picking us to lose in Blacksburg in November. That's probably going to be a night game. And what I just said about Miami having a revenge factor against Syracuse, and they're going to try and hang 100 on them if they can. I think Virginia Tech has this game circled for the same reason.
I disagree with you about the night game thing. If Virginia Tech is 4-6 going into this game or whatever,
I'm not sure that they will be.
I don't know.
I'm not saying it'll be 2 ranked teams. I don't even know if Virginia Tech will be ranked, but I don't think Virginia Tech's going to be 4-6 coming into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to write a side note. Next week, we're doing Virginia Tech, so we can settle this once and for all. All right, so we got, but you still, all right, so you got, you've got the Hokies winning that one. So, all right, what do you think, Vic?
First of all, NC State did beat Miami in 2023, so.
Okay.
Yeah, they won 26, so. But anyway, but yeah, I picked Miami originally, so I guess I need to stay with my original pick, so.
Dang. Well,
and I have us losing to 2 rivals, which really kind of digs into my craw a little bit, but it is what it is.
Well, Sea-Dog, you have a chance to play spoiler here and make this a tie.
Oh, yeah.
But just tell us what you really think. Miami at Virginia Tech.
Does this answer your question?
You knew. I mean, with everything he led up to this game with, you knew he was going to pick us to lose it.
So that's a tie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a tie. He's got Virginia Tech.
I think he just wanted me to make another poll.
Well, the last one went so well.
The last one was such a big success.
Tyrone's going to come in here with all of his troll accounts and have Miami winning that game.
I'm gonna make it easier. The poll this time is just gonna be: will Miami beat Virginia Tech?
Yeah. Yes
or no? I want to leave the poll open for 60 seconds here.
I mean, this is another game. I would love to be wrong, but I also kind of have the feeling too, and I said this about the Syracuse game last year. I said Miami can come into it with a big head, and I could see them doing that again. And, until they get used to winning, 10 games a year or more, I'm gonna pick them to lose a game that they shouldn't, and they shouldn't lose to Virginia Tech.
I agree with you. So far, it looks like a runaway here. Right now, it's 70% Miami, yes, will beat Virginia Tech.
Wow. Okay. Well.
So that's it. 10-1. I think this is pretty accurate for the most part.
Yep.
Let me see here. All right, so
now,
going.
And I even agree with Lou. Could they beat Virginia Tech and lose to Pitt? Yeah, I could see them losing either or of those games. I don't see them losing both of them.
You can flip it around and say you don't see them winning both of them either. The back-to-back road games at the end of the year is a little rough.
It is, and also I do think Miami got screwed a little bit with Florida State sandwiched between 2 bye weeks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that gives us the last 7 games of the year without a bye week.
Yeah, I got you. So you got your bye weeks are front-loaded, yeah. Anyway, moving on to the last game of the year. So after Virginia Tech, they travel to Pittsburgh, and you know what? This is rivalry weekend and all that. Look, I said when the show started, I've probably got Miami at 10-2. And so in order for that to happen, right now we got them at 10-1. I've got to pick them to lose this game just for math purposes. So give me an upset here on the road at Pittsburgh. What you got, Vic?
Who?
Vic.
Miami and Pittsburgh.
Oh, me. I got Miami.
Vic, have you picked against Miami at all?
Yeah, I did. I picked SMU.
Okay.
He had us losing to Notre Dame and SMU.
All right. Okay.
I mean, at least three of us all have Miami going 10-2. We just have a difference on where
those losses are. Yeah. All right. What about, I'm gonna save Slim for last on this one. What about UC Dog at Pittsburgh?
I think I'm gonna go with the same logic as you. Pick them to lose.
Wow.
I guess their hated rival Pittsburgh.
We got another split.
Well, Slim hasn't picked yet, but you're just projecting that he's going to pick Miami. Is that what you're doing?
Well, he knows because I did a Miami preview with him, and I picked us to lose to Virginia Tech and Notre Dame. I have us at 10-2. Yes, I have us winning this game.
Well, I think Miami wins anyway, so we don't have to do another poll. I'll just change my vote to Miami. Whatever. Why am I 11-1?
Sea Dog's got a flip here.
So we flip to
I think Miami is more likely to beat Pittsburgh than they are to beat like NC State, Virginia Tech.
So hold on. So you're flipping to Miami or against Miami in this game?
Flipping to Miami, just so we don't have to do another poll.
All right. So that will result in an ACC show prediction of Miami going 11-1 in the regular season.
That makes me sick, honestly.
I asked you, Slim, at the beginning of the show, when was how many times have they won 10 games in the past 10 years or whatever? Well, when's the last time they won 11? In the regular season.
Well, since it's gone to let's see, that would probably be 2002. The year they lost to Ohio State in the national title game.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'd be surprised if they won 11-1, but hey, who knows?
All right, yeah. Anyway, I need to go now, Pete. Thanks for letting me come on for the Miami part.
All right, good. See you later, Vic. Thank you for coming on, buddy.
Okay, see ya.
Yeah. He just wanted to come on because he heard us talking about Carson Beck and he had to jump in there. That's all that was.
Exactly.
He's like, "Oh, Miami's over now? Yeah, I got to go, bro."
I mean, is it possible? I mean, most of us were predicting that Miami goes 10-2. So is it? It's not a hot take to say that they go 11.
No, certainly not. I think they're good enough to. They also could disappoint and drop a couple games they shouldn't, go 9-3. So I mean, it kind of works both ways.
It does. Like I like to, I tend to make a point of saying this every year with really any prediction, but Miami included. I'm picking them to go 10-2 plus or minus a game. Like we wouldn't be surprised if they dropped another one that they shouldn't have, or if they won one of. Like, would you be immensely surprised if Miami beats Notre Dame? I think we all said that was going to be a close game.
Yeah, I think so. All right, perfect timing there, right at the 8 o'clock hour. So moving on to, so we got Miami at 11-1. So I don't want to hear anybody saying there's a bunch of hate for Miami on the ACC show. We just picked them to go 11-1 in the regular season.
Don't get me wrong, I have hate for Miami.
Which, if they win 11 games in the regular season, they will be going to the ACC championship game, and win or lose that game, they're probably in the playoffs no matter what. So that would be a playoff team, regardless of the outcome of the ACC championship game. An 11-win ACC team's making the playoffs. What I'm trying to say.
I agree.
So, I mean, in most every year, for sure. So it'll be a similar situation to what SMU did last year. So, okay, moving on to Boston College. Now, I mentioned at the top of the show, Boston College went 7-6 last year. Their quarterback quit on the team after 8 weeks. Castanella's transferred down to Florida State. And Grayson James took over for him, and he came in and played decent. But they also went out in the transfer portal and got Dylan Longergan. Is that how you pronounce his name? I don't know. He's never played a snap in football. I guess he was, on the Alabama roster, but he never saw the field. Well, if he did, he threw a touchdown or an interception. Maybe he came in and threw a couple passes in trash time. I don't know. But anyway, they have not announced, or Bill O'Brien has not announced who the starter is yet. I'm assuming it's going to be Grayson James because he has actual experience under Bill O'Brien's system and played in actual football games last year at the end and played decent. And this guy, like I said, has never done anything. But, you never know if he goes out there in the spring and then fall camp and just looks like he's a better quarterback. Maybe they do start this Dylan kid. I don't know. He was a 4-star, highly recruited guy coming out of high school, so we just don't know anything about him. So, but that leaves a lot of unknowns for Boston College, and if you look at their schedule, which we're about to now, it's not the easiest schedule in the ACC. Out of conference, they play Michigan State and Notre Dame. In conference, they play Clemson, Louisville, who else here? SMU, Georgia Tech, and Syracuse. So those are the top half, on paper of the ACC. All those teams I just named right there. So no, not easy. Now, of course, they don't play Miami, so that's the other team we're missing here. But they do play some of the tougher teams in the ACC. This could be a rough one here for Bill O'Brien's second year. They start out at home against Fordham. I'll give them a win there.
Yeah, they'll beat Fordham.
All right.
Yeah.
Then they have to jump on the road 2 weeks in a row, but their first stop on the way to California is at Michigan State, and they've already put this game on Peacock at 7:30, so it's a night game at Michigan State. Week 2.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's on Peacock.
That's so annoying.
Yeah.
I thought Notre Dame was the only one playing on Peacock.
I guess not. Unless the ESPN's lying to me. That's what it says on the screen. Oh. This is a tough one for me.
Michigan State's not very good.
They're not very good, you're right. But it is an away game.
I am a little higher on Bill O'Brien, the head coach, than a lot of people.
Well, I mean, I think he's a good coach. I mean, he was successful at every level, everywhere he went. I mean, he took the Texans to the playoffs twice, I think. They're terrible.
Yeah. He also sank that organization, too.
I don't know if he did or not. I think there's a lot going on there, but you know what?
Remember, he was also the coach and the GM.
Well, that wasn't his fault. That was he should never have been put in that position. You know what? I'm going to give Boston College the benefit of the doubt here because I think they got a bunch of other losses coming up on the schedule here. I'm going to say BC upsets them early in the year.
Yeah. Before you say anything, Slim, I'm gonna seal this one. I hate those bastards at Michigan State. They just took our AD. So give me Boston College.
Oh no, he went to Michigan State. I didn't even read that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Give me Boston College for taking Sea Dog's AD.
Michigan State took the AD.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So give me Boston College to beat them.
Oh, you're not trolling.
Took your AD. I'm not trolling you.
Oh, what a guy.
That's a tough game to pick preseason. It really is. So then anyway, a 2-game away streak. They stop at Michigan State. Then they go to Stanford. Luckily for Boston College, they met their match in terrible football program. Stanford's even worse than they are right now. So give me a BC with 2 road wins in a row out of conference. Or no, well, I guess Stanford's in conference.
Look at them go.
I'll probably just pick against Stanford this entire offseason of picking games, and I'll probably be right more often than not.
Yeah, if you pick them to go 0-12, you'll probably only get like 3 of those wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe only 2.
Probably. Ironically enough, so they go to Stanford. So we got 3-0. They go to Stanford, then they travel back to Boston, and they host another California team, Cal, another team who I think they're better than Stanford, but this is a borderline bowl team in my opinion. Give me Boston College again.
Yeah, because they even lost that quarterback that looked halfway decent against Miami's defense.
Yeah, that quarter, he could throw it all over the yard. He's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a crazy game last year. Was that was Miami at Cal, right? That went down to overtime and Cal won in overtime. It was a controversial call.
No, Miami won it. Actually, it didn't quite go to overtime. It just seemed like it because the game started at like 10 o'clock at night.
Okay, but it came down to the last play of the game.
Yeah,
right?
Cam Ward actually. I think Cam Ward caught a touchdown to win that game. Actually.
Oh. All right, so I guess that makes Sea Dog's pick irrelevant.
Yeah, I guess so.
But who would you pick there? Would you pick Miami or Cal?
Miami.
You mean Boston College or Cal?
Yeah, Boston College or Cal. Yeah.
Boston College.
All right, so 4-0.
Man, they're good.
They don't have these, 3 and 4 straight home games like Miami has here. They're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Mm-hmm. So after the Cal game, they travel to Pitt. Boy, this is a coin flipper here. This is a coin flipper. I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip my coin here. Okay. Let's see. Heads is gonna be Boston College. Tails is gonna be Pittsburgh. And here
I'm gonna go ahead and ride with whatever you're flipping.
All right. Oh, bam! Tails. All right, so I got Pittsburgh winning this one. This is very scientific. Yeah, so I got a loss. You said you're tailing me, no pun intended, with the tails. So that's 2, so it doesn't matter what Slim thinks.
I'm not disrespecting the coin either way.
Yeah, the coin probably more accurate than anything we're going to say anyways.
That's a house on that one, too.
All right, so finally we got a loss here. 4-1. That's not a bad idea. I should start betting that way for real, just doing a coin flip. I probably win just as many games.
Yeah.
That's all betting is anyway. It's a coin flip. All right, now the loss is about to start coming in quick, fast, and in a hurry. After a very respectable 4-1 start for the Eagles, they host the Clemson Tigers on October the 11th. I don't care if this game's in Boston, Canada, Germany, Brazil, Japan, South Africa, or even Antarctica for that matter, or maybe even the moon. Clemson will beat them by as much as they want to beat them by. Mm-hmm. Have you seen Dabo Swinney's record against Boston College?
Yeah.
Oh
no.
I don't even know if he's lost one. I think he's undefeated. He might have lost one in 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this year is not going to be any different. So, Tigers.
Yeah. I agree.
So now they've dropped 2 in a row because of the coin flip, and of course then they had to play Clemson. Unfortunately for them, they get to play UConn. Now I'll give this to Boston College. UConn.
Yeah.
Yeah, UConn, Boston College is not.
All right. 5-2. Ooh, now it gets real rough. These next 5 games are a gauntlet for anybody in the ACC, let alone a mediocre team like Boston College. Boy, geez. Let's just break this down. At Louisville, at home versus Notre Dame, at home versus SMU, at home versus Georgia Tech. Now, at least they're all at home. They got a 3-game home stretch there. and then at Syracuse to end the year. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the top 6 or 7 ACC teams, and Notre Dame.
Wow. What did we have them so far?
5 and 2.
Finished 5 and 7. Jeez.
I think that's what I said before we picked this night, without even looking at the schedule. I said 4 or 5 wins.
Yeah.
So, well, just for argument's sake here, let's stick with Louisville. All right, I got Louisville winning that.
Jeez. Go ahead, Slim.
I don't know. I'm torn. I really am.
Between Louisville and Boston College, the game's in Louisville.
Give me the home team.
Okay.
That's really the only reason.
Other than that, you think it'll be close?
Yeah.
You seem to be lower on Louisville than most people.
Yeah. And also, like I said, when we started this, I'm a little higher on Bill O'Brien than most people.
I got you. All right, so that's a win for Boston. No, that's a win for Louisville. Sorry,
Yeah,
5 and 3. 5 and 3. Then they go back home to host Notre Dame. I'm taking the Irish in that one.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, 5 and 4. The losses are piling up. Now this could be an interesting game here, but then they host SMU.
Yeah.
I'm still taking the Mustangs.
Jeez. I'd honestly pick them to lose every single one of these last games.
I kind of do too.
I'm gonna just go with what I think with SMU too. Jeez.
Oh, we're not. They went. What do you think, Slam? You think they're going to beat SMU or what?
I don't necessarily think they're going to beat SMU, but I could see this being like a 60-50 game.
So they went from 5 and 2 to now 5 and 5 in a hurry. Their end of their season is treacherous. Then they host Georgia Tech. What is the recent history? Now, first of all, I'm picking Georgia Tech to win this. I just think they're a superior team. But what's the recent history between Georgia Tech and Boston College? Like, what's the record?
They keep beating us.
Okay, so it's kind of like that thing. You know how Miami can't beat Georgia Tech? Can Georgia Tech not beat Boston College?
I don't know if it's just that or if Jeff Collins can't win a damn game. They did the last time we played them. I think was it was Brent Key's first year. So we went 6-6 that year. Yeah. Last time we played them, how could I forget? It was on my birthday. It was the chip game where I threw the chips in the tree, and and pissed off my friend's wife.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You went off a camera, and then all I heard was his wife comes down the stairs and starts screaming at you and calling you an idiot.
No, she was so mad.
Yeah, she was calling you an idiot.
Yeah.
Is Georgia Tech's defense supposed to be better or worse than last year?
Well, we're gonna have a new DC.
Well, you better hope they're better because they weren't very good last year.
They weren't great last year.
No.
I still don't know. Our defensive line has been so rough like the past few years. We do have some good players, but it's just that we have no depth.
Like, this isn't a shot at Georgia Tech or Brent Key, but Bill O'Brien's just always going to have an offense that can score points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we did replace with what I thought was a good hire. And I just think, I don't know. I just think I say we're going to be better than them. But
I think Miami and Clemson both made good hires, but I still have questions about both of their defenses.
Yeah. I definitely have questions about our defense. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's been a work in progress since our very beginning, but it is what it is.
All right, so we all have Georgia Tech winning that game. Or Slim doesn't. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, man. If you're looking at problems on the defense, like I said, Bill O'Brien's going to have an offense that can put up points.
All right, so but you still lose. So so we got them at 5-6.
Yeah.
Heading into their final game of the season on the road in the Fart Box in Syracuse against Fran Brown and company.
I'll take this one first. I think they're going to beat the soul out of Syracuse. I don't think they're going to be a good team at all this year. I think Kyle McCord hit a lot of their deficiencies. I mean, don't forget, Miami's offense really had no trouble going in that game. It was a couple of, and if you remember, it was a couple of uncharacteristic fumbles by Restrepo that really stalled out the offense and let Syracuse catch back up. Their defense is horrendous. I think Boston College can drop 100 on them.
I'll go last in this one then. What do you think, Sea-Dog?
Ooh. Jeez. I think Syracuse. It's in the far box.
They fixed the air conditioning. It's not the fart box anymore.
No. The
lunchbox?
Man. I just don't think
Icebox?
I guess.
Whatever. I just don't know, man. I don't think they're that good.
So it comes down to me then.
I just think Syracuse is better.
Now, being somebody who thinks that this is another coin flip game, I'm not going to flip a coin for my pick this time, but I do think out of the two of you, so Slim went first and then Sea-Dog went second. I think that Slim made a more compelling argument than you did, Sea-Dog.
Am I supposed to make a big compelling argument?
Well, if I'm on the fence and I'm looking for one of you to persuade me one way or the other,
I just think.
I mean, the point of this is to be honest, like not troll. Like we all supposedly try for the most part not to troll with us.
I mean, I troll NC State every week, but outside of that, I'm pretty honest.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to convince you one way or another. They could win this game. In fact, I think I think it could even be close. Especially if Boston College is on a losing streak at this point, they're going to have.
Yeah, that's a good point because it's the last game of the year. Which team will have more to play for?
It'll be all the motivation they need to get to a bowl game. Really, so
yeah. I mean, Boston College, if our prediction's right, will be fighting to make a bowl game.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Maybe I just had PTSD as a Clemson fan with traveling to Syracuse. Every time we travel up there, we have a hard time, even when we have a superior team. So I'm a little bit biased towards Syracuse playing at home against better teams. I'm picking Syracuse to win this. I mean, Slim, you did put up a compelling argument about Bill O'Brien's, being able to score. Damn it. I'm taking the home team. Since I'm on the fence, I'm always going to take the home team. So give me Syracuse. That puts this at 5-7. This is, I think, the third or fourth team we've had at 5-7 in the ACC so far in these predictions. Obviously, this is very scientific, but this could go 8. Yeah, I think Boston College. Let's be real here. What's the ceiling for Boston College? 7 wins?
7, 8, yeah, 7.
So ceiling 7, floor 4 or 5. So they'll probably end up somewhere around 6-6 and something like that, which is slightly it's about the same as last year. Last year they were 6-6 in the regular season and won their bowl game to go 7-6. So it's pretty similar to last year. 5-7, nothing to really brag about. Saw some interesting comments about Bill O'Brien. This could be, if they have a disappointing season like they had last. So I got the hiccups. Like they had last year, this could, Bill O'Brien might step away. Of course,
I don't think so. I think I believe exactly what we said at the time when Bill O'Brien was hired. There's no expectations at Boston College whatsoever. And he'll probably ride out the rest of his career there.
I don't know, man. I mean, if he gets a tempting offer in the NFL, I think he's probably more comfortable in the NFL than he is in college.
Well, and not saying it's his fault, not saying whose fault it is, but that whole mess with the Texans and, him trading away their best wide receiver, basically throwing a hissy fit, being mad at the front office. I'm not sure if the NFL will ever have him back.
Maybe you're right. How old is Bill O'Brien? In his 50s, maybe 60s? He's probably in his 50s. You're right. Maybe if he's got a cush job there and he's got one of those jobs in college that happens every once in a while where there's very low expectations and they don't fire people very often, like Virginia, then maybe he will
Kentucky.
Kentucky, Virginia. There's a handful of teams like that where Oklahoma State.
I don't know how many people. Well, listen, Mike Gundy in his tenure at Oklahoma State averages 10 wins a year. So, I mean, I don't think that's fireable. But what I do think is fireable is whoever signed Stoops' contract at Kentucky. You realize this guy gets a 1-year extension every year he wins 7 games?
That's crazy.
That is nuts.
Yeah,
him and his brother have got to have the best contract lawyers in the history of contracts.
I would say.
Because when Bob was at Oklahoma, he had that clause in his contract that kept him the highest paid coach in college football.
That's the most insane contract I've ever heard of. There's been some bad ones recently too. But yeah, I don't know. Look. A good year for Boston College is winning 8 or 9 games on any given year.
Yeah.
Now, if they might have an outlying year where they win 10 games, but that's like once every 15 or 20 years or something. So I think we've been somewhat fair. And look, I don't dislike Bill O'Brien. I don't really think they could have made much of a better hire than him.
Yeah.
After what's his face left to go to the NFL.
The only thing better they could have done was hire Doug Flutie the way Stanford hired Andrew Luck.
I don't know. Maybe that's coming. Maybe if the Bill O'Brien experiment doesn't work, Doug Flutie will be next.
Yeah, he'll have the whole team eating Flutie Flakes.
All right. Well, there you have it. We got Miami. This hurts to say, but this will make the Miami fans happy. You can't call us biased. We got Miami at 11-1, and only one of the people on the panel is a Miami fan. So it wasn't like he was controlling the narrative here.
Yeah, and I did. By the way, I picked us not to go 11-1. So
right.
I think we all did. But
yeah, somehow I said 10-2. You said 10-2, but somehow we still ended up at 11-1. You know who I blame that on? I think it's Vic's fault.
Yeah, you let a Georgia fan in here.
He picked Miami to win all these big games because he's a Carson Beck fan. You see how that works?
Yeah.
So, whatever. I think it's a fair assessment. 10-1, 10-2, 11-1, and Boston College 5-7. I'm going to say probably 6-6.
Yeah, probably.
They'll make it to the Birmingham Bowl. What's the 6-6 bowl? Birmingham Bowl. There's a couple of them.
Yeah.
Bahamas
Music
Bowl.
City Bowl.
Yeah.
Hey man, listen. I'll take a trip to the Bahamas. Yeah. Give me the Bahamas Bowl.
Yeah, if you're going to play in a shitty bowl, you may as well do it in the Bahamas.
Yeah, either that or Hawaii. That'd be another good one.
Yeah, free trip. That's all that is.
Exactly.
It's a free trip, and they're like, oh, while you're here, you have to play a football game. Oh, okay, whatever. It's only 3 hours.
Yeah, right? I mean, you're going to be there for at least a week. I'm going to be in Hawaii for a week. I got to work for 3 hours for a football game. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like going to a timeshare meeting.
Yeah.
All right.
I could see Pete going to those too. Like, we'll send you on this trip, but you have to go to this seminar.
No, I will not. I've had. You know how many offers I've had to do that? No, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I've had a few, and I was just like, yeah, I'll pass on that.
Yeah, some of them are real aggressive too, and I'm just like, no, I don't know how many times I got to tell you, no, I'm not doing it. But
Yeah, oh, yeah, there was one I thought I was going to have to pull a gun on him. Like, dude, for real, like, I've walked away from you 3 times. Go away.
yeah, it's a scam.
I'm sure it is. I don't know anybody that's ever gone.
I do. I know. My mother-in-law's got a timeshare, and she's had it for like 20 years. And now we do use it, but I doubt she gets out of it what she's put into it.
That's funny. My mother-in-law had a timeshare for years too. Finally got she had to get a lawyer and stuff.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't just get out of it. You have to get a fucking lawyer to get out of it. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
There's lawyers that's all they do is getting people out of timeshare.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's because people, timeshare lawyers, divorce lawyers, there's a lawyer for every dumb decision you can make in life.
Yeah.
I almost bought a condo. I wasn't going to do a timeshare.
Yeah, obviously, if you can buy it, it's the way to go.
Well, I should have jumped on the deal. This was back in like 2015 or 16. We got invited to a wedding in Destin, and like right down there where the main pier or whatever is in Destin, they had a big old sign. It was 2-bedroom condos for like $50,000.
What?
I was like, shit. Yeah, I know, right?
I bought it too. Even if it's shitty, fix it up.
Yeah, but I didn't jump on it.
Dang, you should have. For $50,000, you could rent that thing out and make a mint.
Yeah, and me and my wife were talking about it, and I didn't do it. I didn't pull the trigger. One of life's many regrets.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. We've been there. All right. Well, I guess that's gonna do it. Another preview in the books. Yeah.
And we're very accurate with our previews, by the way.
Yeah, people don't understand. They laugh at our preview. Like every week, there's people going, "Oh my God, these guys are idiots! Look at they got so and so team going this record." At the end of the year, we go back and we reflect on these things.
We do.
And I'm actually more so. I might be more surprised than the viewers are about how close we are on most of these predictions. Because it's not just one person picking. I think it helps that we have multiple angles to come at here, so it's more scientific than just PigskinPeete coming on here and doing a prediction.
Even though we have clips going on.
Even though
I wonder if it's gonna, because this is our first year. We don't have a North Carolina man coming around all the time. We don't have our Wake Forest man coming around all the time.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, at least on YouTube, I haven't seen hide nor hair talk his bit, but he's damn sure all over Twitter.
Yeah, he lives on Twitter.
So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. This is the first year that we're not just going to have a big panel of ACC minds. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I bet you it'll be pretty close still. There'll be one or two teams that we're way off on like we are every year, but the majority of the teams we'll dial in on.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, because we know what we're talking about.
Clearly. I mean, listen to us. All right, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments section. I guess that's going to do it for the show tonight. Thanks for coming on, Slim. I know you had a long day today.
No, I didn't work today.
Oh, well, thanks for coming on anyway.
I was on the midday show. I didn't work today.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I got today and tomorrow off. I ain't got to be back at work till Friday.
Nice.
Not really. It's 4th of July, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say have a great 4th of July, but you're going to be working, so.
Hey, man, I'll take $80 an hour if I got to be at work.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
All right. See you later, Slim. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yes,
Sir.
All right, Sea-Dog, you got anything going on that we need to know about?
Nope.
Nothing.
Sorry, I don't post in the off season anymore.
Okay.
I just game, pretty much.
So you're just posting during the season?
I don't know. I mean, I post if something happens, but I used to post all in the off season, but I don't know. Shit's crazy like right now,
I hear you.
So
All right, buddy. Well, we did it again. We'll do it again next week on Tuesday, hopefully, this time.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. See you later.
All right, see.
Thank all of you for tuning in as well. What is today? Wednesday? Yeah, I usually do this. I'm confused because this is usually a Tuesday night show, not a Wednesday night show. There will be no midday show on the second channel on Friday because it's the 4th. So everybody have a great 4th of July, and we'll see you again very soon.